So this is just, this again, this is to put in context kind of the why we did what we did. And by we, again, it's not just IFA who did this. There were a number of people in this room, and most of the rooms were virtual, obviously, as they are these days. But, this was a part of the driving force behind trying to come to and ultimately coming to a legislative agreement that we did, right? Because if you look at, again, touching on what the referendum would have cost, could have cost, and all of the other things that we were dealing with that were challenging and on the table, this, like I said, this gives you a sense of the driver behind reaching a legislative agreement with the other side, right? And you've got this graphic here, California versus big oil, right? Big oil is they have a referendum that they're going to be pursuing in 2024, right? And we already knew that Governor Newsom, who, like him or don't like him, he is relatively popular in California, for better or for worse. Obviously has no secret that he has higher political aspirations, whether it's in 2024 or some other time. He told us point blank that he would campaign against our referendum, right? So we knew that. That's a big deal. So you put all those things together, and we could have thrown, like I said, $250 million plus at it, and may ultimately have won, but you may ultimately have lost too. And then you're left having spent, 250, 300 some odd $1 million with really not a whole lot to show for it other than losing. And so, like I said, you thinking about all of these things kind of in context as a big, broader picture helps, I hope, to understand why the deal that we ultimately agreed to was, one, pursued, and two, agreed to. So, again, this is just kind of a recap of what's in the deal. We touched on a lot of these things. QSR, or quick service restaurant brands, with 61 or more. Clear schedule on wages. Counsel with modified abilities, which is advisory. The joint liability piece is gone. The IWC is eliminated, and the referendum is withdrawn. Right. That's the big picture of what's contained in this legislative agreement. So folks we just kind of distilled it into a few bullet points. And then these are just some of the key terms, right? Again, a lot of this is, kind of redundant about what we've talked about. But the council itself is made up of 2 representatives from the restaurant industry, 2 franchisees or restaurant owners, fast food employees, advocates for fast food restaurant workers, which is a fancy way of saying organized labor, an unaffiliated member of the public who will serve as chairperson. And then we'll have non-voting reps from a number of the agencies within California who will basically be there to offer, expertise, if you will, or recommendations as the council looks at various issues. Now, again, the council piece is important, right? Because you will see a lot of coverage, and you probably have already seen a lot of coverage about the fast food council, that they're getting a seat at the table, all of these things. Yes, the word council is in 1228 as a part of this deal. But again, the old council, as referended, was unfettered lawmaking authority, right? Whatever they wanted to do, they could do, and there was no stopping it. This council is advisory, right? They can draft a rule, and then they can give it to DIR, Department of Industrial Relations, or other appropriate agencies, and then that agency will have to undergo the rulemaking process as they would in any other rule that they're going to pursue. It also doesn't stop us or anybody else from suing the Department of Industrial Relations or the labor commissioner in his or her capacity to say, you don't have the authority to do this, right? So obviously there's a big difference in the council that was established as a part of this legislative agreement versus the council that would have been established as a part of the FAST Act.